Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. Well, today, as you can tell, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, especially the Wingnut Wings ones, you know I like a good bear, especially a teddy bear. And today we're going to talk about... No, not this sort of bear, not this sort of bear. Ah, there's been a communication breakdown. No, sorry mate. No, sorry, there's been a mistake. Anyway, moving on. This is the bear we're going to be talking about today. The massive Soviet turboprop bomber from the Cold War, from Trumpeter, in 70-second scale. Now, frankly, this is a giant on every level and is not owned by me. Way too big for me and nowhere in my house that this would fit. This is going to be a massive monster. This is the bear we're having today, not teddy bears. There are no more teddy bears. Okay. So, where to begin? Obviously this was an aircraft that the Russians introduced in the 50s, actually, late 50s. Basically as a nuclear bomber was its original intention. It's kind of ended up being more of a sort of an interdiction a reconnaissance aircraft, you could say, because this is the one that we usually see sneaking in over America or Canada, and particularly into the United Kingdom's airspace, which you often see videos of the Royal Air Force going up to intercept them over the North Sea and Scotland and places like that, and generally snooping around where they're not wanted. Anyway, a very, very good aircraft, and unlike some of the others that we've talked about, like the Blinder that I talked about from Models Vit a few weeks ago, this aircraft has been a very good workhorse for the Soviet and now the Russian Air Force. A very reliable, long-living, great longevity, good workhorse, which has kept. It's been now in their Air Force for how many years? That's 50 years, 50 years, 60 years, 60. Any more bids on 60? I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? This is quite a plane. Before we get into it, though, and take a proper look at the kit, we also have something else that is truly massive. Another one of these absolutely stunning books from Yefim Gordon, Dmitry Kosmyrov, who are the same guys who did the similar book on the MiG-25, I think it was. Sorry, I presented it previously when I was doing the review of the Sukhoi Su-35 flanker. And this is, if anything, is even maybe bigger, and that was a big book. How many pages has this one got? I mean, we're not going to go through this because we'll be here for days. So it's got 600 pages. Okay, it is an absolutely stunning reference book. It's got everything you need to know. These guys have got intimate knowledge of the the designs, the development, the use, modifications, and upgrades that are made over the years. I mean, it's a stunning aircraft. I'm not the greatest expert on bears, and I'm not this sort of bear anyway, if I'm honest. But it's an aircraft that commands respect. It's an absolutely huge plane. When the Americans are developing their B-52 bomber, the Soviets are pushing ahead with this turboprop job. So yeah, it's got these counter-rotating propellers, bags of power. It can carry nuclear weapons. It can carry air-to-air missiles. It's carried. Did it carry Buran? I've got a feeling. Was that? No, it was the Antonov. Okay, but it's got such adaptability for doing many roles, and this book really shows you some wonderful colour photographs. And this is an amazing resource. And as I said about the other flanker book, this wouldn't have been made 20-30 years ago. This book, because everybody would have been arrested and sent to Siberia, I think. But you've got pictures of it being developed in the factory. It's quite amazing, really, because it's sort of a plane that you expect to see in sort of 1953, but you don't really expect to see it still flying around in 2021. But it is. It is. Only about 10 days ago there was an RAF interception over the North Sea, where these guys were creeping in, having a little snoop around. Anyway, I won't go into the book too much, but to say, if you like the bear, if you want to build one of these kits, you probably need to get yourself this book, because it's just superb, shows the Russians' nuclear weapons. A bit scary. Absolutely amazing, from its conceptualization to its latter day, very long running use in the Russian Air Force. It also includes the Tu-142, which is kind of the development plane, which is the sort of late variant of the aircraft, basically. Brilliant book, but it's not cheap. £45 it's going to cost you. Dollars, 75 US dollars. Quite pricey, quite pricey. Anyway, let's have a look at this incredible and huge. We're going to struggle today. Won't be zooming in that much because I won't be able to get it in. What have we got? So it is from Trumpeter, obviously. It's kit number 01601. We've got it available in both the Russian and Ukrainian colours. And that's it, the Ukrainians on that side, in fact. So, yeah, it's a strange situation, isn't it, with the Ukrainian thing, because they've got similar aircraft, you know. Right, let's have a look then. See what amazing things are in this box. Let's just pop that there. Let's just get that over there like that. There we go. It's big. It's massive. Now the owner of this has, this is still bagged, fully sealed. The owner says he's going to build it and he's very happy that I opened the bag, so that is what we will do. Let's see what we have, because it's just such a treat to have something of this magnitude. This is a lot of plastic. Oh God, it's massive. We've got to get this box away, otherwise I'm going to move. Right. Let's pop that over there. Let's run around there. Where to start then? Now, I'm not. Trumpeter's not one of my sort of favourite manufacturers. I don't mean that I don't like them. I just haven't had a lot of experience with Trumpeters. I think I had one in the past, but not recently. So let us see what we got. Nice big instruction book. We'll zoom in a bit for this. This we can fit in the screen. So it's the Bear H. Very much the sort of thing that you know, Britain, America and Canada see flying over or close to their airspace if you're not careful. I've got a nice colour call out sheet here, and it's talking about the guns, colours, not the ones I would use, but clearly you've got some metallic finishes to work on here, and the colour call out is the same for both air forces. So you've basically got some dark sea grey, black, burnt iron, shine silver, which is most of it actually. So it's quite a silvery aircraft, gives you lots of options for doing some nice metallic finishes. We have here, do have some decals, I think I misplaced them. Where have they gone? Oh, there we are, hiding. Decals. Let's open it. What have we got? So, it doesn't seem to have a lot. I'm quite surprised. I thought there'd be millions of stencils on it. Oh, okay. So they've done what I did. They've actually protected it with a bit of tape. So we'll just gently peel it back to give you an idea. Zoom you in. And here we go. So, oh yes, they're nice. Quite shiny. Shiny decals. Very, very glossy. Certainly a high gloss. The Ukrainian markings are quite nice, actually, aren't they? Look at that. Yes, I like those. I won't pull it off because it seems a shame. But you've got obviously the Russian Federation flag there as well. Those are nice, but there's not many. I thought it'd be stencils, you know, back to the Stone Age, but perhaps excuse me. Perhaps the Russians have a different attitude to health and safety. If you know what I mean. Right. Okay. So we've got excuse me. Map of the Sprue tree is basically on the left. Fairly basic one to be honest, but starts off. Oh, interesting! It starts off with the undercarriage. It's building the gear. Main gear assembly for the starboard side with the port gear. It's got undercarriage, which to my mind resembles Concorde or the Vulcan. It's quite similar to that in style. So you're building those up. Then you've got two wing sides, you've got flaps, and you've got flaperons. No, they're flaps. Sorry, two sets of flaps and then ailerons. So those going in and bringing them together, top and bottom. Seems very straightforward. Bringing in this assembly of the undercarriage that you've already done. And this is when we have this twin counter-rotating props arrangement coming in. First the back one, then the front one. Same again on the other side. Excuse me. And then we've got the same for the outboard, inboard and outboard. Putting your props in, putting your spinners on. Although the prop and spinner all appear to be one piece, which is kind of disappointing, I guess, but anyway. Same on the opposite wing. Seems pretty straightforward, isn't it? A very rather rudimentary looking cockpit. I mean, we just seen that Airfix Vulcan a couple of weeks ago, and that was detailed, okay? Lots and lots of detail. This is just the opposite, very rudimentary, matchbox-like in its simplicity, I would say. Then you're bringing in the two halves, the rear halves of the fuselage. Going to get a bit of a seam here, I fear. Putting in your front gear that you've just assembled, which is over here actually. That's the nose gear well. That pops into there. And you've got a couple of windows you need to put in here. External canopy, bringing your wings in. Don't know how these wings are going to go on. They're a big heavy wing. I hope they're going to be secure. It seems a lot, doesn't it? A lot of weight on that point. You've got your antennas, you've got your little top windows. Not much to this kit, I've got to say. Very conventional tails and elevators, tailplanes and elevators. And you've got your rear guns here, which you often see them when the RAF, for example, in the UK, they intercept these guys. And the guns will be up, pointing up, like so. Like that, up, to show that they're not pointing at the aircraft incoming. So it's like almost like a signal that they have got no hostile intent. But on the other hand, given all the fuss they made about us going through the international waters in the Black Sea, you feel like saying, well, if you've got no hostile intent, what are you doing here then? Anyway, we all play the game. I mean, the RAF go over to places like Latvia and Estonia, and they patrol around, you know, very close to the Russian border, and it's just the way the game's played, isn't it? It's called exploring the boundaries. I think that's the expression that people use. They're just trying to test out the limits of what the other's capabilities are, have a look at their aircraft and that kind of thing. Anyway, then you've got this big, by now, a very big aircraft. And you've got these other windows underneath, you've got your gear doors, various bits of antennas going in there, two wings go in, and then just finishing off with all these other windows. A lot of windows in this plane, lots of small windows, so you've got lots and lots underneath, or the tail section. You've got a couple of, I think there's a couple of pitot heads, antennas, because it's used as a spy plane basically as well. And then you've got your fuselage doors. But they haven't got any bomb doors, which is kind of disappointing, isn't it? You've got these big fuselage doors here, but no bomb doors. Well, they are bomb doors, aren't they? Sorry, it's the way they worded it. Outside fuselage comma. Sorry, they are bomb doors. That's the bomb, where the bombs are. I was thinking it was gear door then. My mistake. Very, very straightforward. I say I'm not a big, not very experienced with Trumpeter's kits really, and I've had one or two, you know, but let's have a look what the plastic's like. It seems very old school to me, this. Let's see what the actual moulding is like. Can I open this in a sympathetic way? Which would be the best way to open it? This end? I think it's this end. There we go. We're in. So, have a looky. We've got some bits floating around here, for sure. Are they important bits or not? Just bits that have dropped off the sprue waste. I think they're waste, but we'll put them back in the bag just to be sure. Now we've got two here that's identical, so let's take a look at it. Yeah, I think it's It's a big old beast, obviously, but it's not. You can tell it's not the latest sort of mouldings. This. Have a good look at this all-in-one moulded spinner and prop arrangement. It's not terribly finessed, is it? A little bit flashy. It's like old school Airfix, isn't it? It's got some good detail in there. It's got like a strengthening, almost like a reinforced blade here. Can you see that? It's got like a strengthening plate down it with rivets in it. That's quite impressive. Other than that, it looks a bit underwhelming in terms of the engineering, if I'm really honest. Not sure about this moulding quality here either. Here. It's a bit old school. A bit basic, I'd say, in a way. There's your wheels and tyres. There's your inboard props. Which again, it's a bit simplistic, and yeah, I'd like to have seen that in separate, you know, prop and outer spinner casing separately. Sorry, I've got the cough today, I don't know where from. I'm due for a cup of coffee, that's what it is. You've got some, what are they? Sway braces, control surfaces, I'm not sure what they are. It's okay, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just a bit under-engineered, I think is the expression I'd used. It doesn't feel like a modern kit, does it? And it's not got weight on wheels on those wheels either, which is a little bit disappointing. So I don't know, so far, not that impressed. Not that impressed. Now, I remember that, I remember that on his channel, our old friend Phil Flory, he actually built this kit, and it was a big project, you know, especially the painting of it, oh my god, but he did a lovely job of it, in fairness. So it's doable. I'm trying to remember his build, if I can remember it. I think he had a few problems with I think there was a bit of gap problems, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong, but I can't remember. Had a few challenges with it. But we shall see. Now let's look at these nacelles. Oh, that's a bit nicer. Okay. This seems a bit better. I wasn't totally impressed with those propellers and spinners. Thought they were a bit rubbish, really. How about this? Away. Okay, now then, some nice detail here on these engine nacelles. Exhausts here, of course. Yeah, you've got some internal ribbing where the wing is here, and then you've got the cover that goes on the other side here, cowling, I should say. And then you've got some rudder, isn't it? This is the rudders. They're quite nice. Yeah, somehow this Sprue seems a bit nicer than the previous one. That's all right, actually. That's not too bad. Again, nothing fancy, but yeah, it seems a bit better moulded, frankly. Then we have got this absolutely huge sprue. This is one of the biggest sprues I've ever seen. It's absolutely massive. It's got to be 3/4 of a metre almost. Right, let's open this bag nicely so we can get it back in if we can. It just about fits on the desk, it's that big. Let me get it at this end. Okay. This is big. Oh, look at that. I mean, this just the tail section is bigger than most of the models I've assembled. Look at that. Bring you in. It's a monster. There we go. Well, I'm gonna get it in the. No, I can't go that much. Sorry, it's that big. I'm not going to get it in the picture. All right. Well, that's nice actually. There's nothing wrong with that. That's nicely moulded again. Perhaps it's just a row sprue that was a bit rubbish in terms of being very flashy. A little bit of flash here and there, but yeah, on these little doors here, nothing too bad. Nothing major, apart from perhaps there. There's a like a radome window. There's a bit of flash there. But it's not that bad, not that bad. There's your Bombay doors here. Just look at the scale of this thing, it's just, this is only 1/72, you know. I mean, compared to that little Eagle that I did the other day, that's, yeah, it's on a different level altogether. We don't seem to have, one or two, yeah, in the mould, some of the moulding isn't that nice. The bigger parts seem to be better, but we've got a bit of a sink mark here. There's definitely a sink mark there, isn't there? Yes. Where that bulkhead is, there's a bit of a sink mark in the plastic. Again, so huge, could barely get it round on the table here. Have we got the same sink mark on the other side or not? Actually, it doesn't seem as bad on the other side, so there's definitely something a bit amiss there, isn't there? Yeah. No, it's alright. It's okay. I just think it's a bit old school. It's a bit old school. A little bit of flashing in there. It's alright. Not bad. I mean, it's a big thing to try and mould, isn't it? Something this massive. There's got to be challenges in that, getting it in and out of the mould, I expect. I mean, they don't seem to have any ejector pin marks, but they shouldn't, so that's okay. Now then, what have we got here? All these flaps and ailerons and things. Oops. The finish on the plastic isn't the best, I've got to be honest. It's just a bit cheap looking, if you know what I mean. It's again a bit old school. And the panel lines are a bit faint, I would say. Perhaps a little bit underdone, if anything. But got a mark in it? Maybe. No, it's okay. It's just a little bit, compared to modern kits, it's a little bit lacking in the surface quality. Is not that great, not that defined. It's the plastic itself looks a bit cheap, I think, to be honest. Let's try this one. These are the tail planes. The undercarriage is quite nicely moulded though, isn't it? That's quite good. Look at that. They're alright, aren't they? It's quite nice and chunky, in a good way. They've not got any ejector pin problems really. Oh, hang on a second. Well, they haven't on the undercarriage, but look at this bay. It's full of them. Oh dear. This one. Can you see? It's full of ejector pin marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're right in the detail area here as well. There. See it? There they are. See them now. That's a little bit nasty, to be honest. It's awkward to get into. And here we've got the same problem. More ejector pin marks. And here, oh dear, same again. All those bay wells have got ejector pin marks all the way through them, which is a bit rubbish, to be honest. Else, the other parts seem alright, if I'm being honest. Yeah, they seem okay. The guns are not terribly good though, are they either? They're a little bit, can you see? Just here. That's the turret, the back turret. And this is the guns here. But they're a bit mismoulded or a bit warped. Not sure what's why. It seems like there's a bit of missing sprue there where my finger is here. I'm sure there should be a lot stronger if that wasn't missing. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. Got a feeling it's not going to be 10 out of 10 though, I'm being brutally honest. And then finally we've got the absolute, well, not finally because we've got some clear parts, but we have got some absolutely enormous wings. We've got a bag here that's partially open already. So we'll cut it there. Let's put it at the other end, isn't it? Now then. These are big. I mean, this is bigger than any model I've got. Just one wing. Yeah. Look at that. That's as big as. That's probably bigger than the Ayrton Senna McLaren I've got. That's pretty big. And that's just one wing. Again, the moulding, of course, isn't that special, is it? There's a lot of sink marks here. Can you see? In the plastic, there's a lot of sink marks. See them? They're all over the place. Here. You can feel it as well. Not that much, but it's there. That's probably going to show up when you paint it. It's the same on this side. Yeah, you see it's where it's got that piece, that's locating area here. On the other side, that's where the sink mark is. See it? There. Not great, not great. But the plastic seems strong. Yeah, I think it's strong enough. But there's a lot of sink marks. Just look at this. Can you see there's like streaks through the plastic? Get the light right. There you go. Can you see the streaks? A lot of like streaking through it. Detail's quite good. Don't know. on the other side here, other one. This is the beneath the wings now. Obviously you've got your exhaust. Again, it's a bit flashy, quite flashy there. Lots of flash there. And again, surface quality is not the best. Oh, nowhere near it. It's kind of grainy at the front, then it sort of turns into this glossy, streaky stuff at the back. Quite strange actually. It's got quite a rough feel to it. Then it goes smooth, rough. Almost like sandpaper here. The other side's even worse. They've got some serious problems in the mould. Look at this. Oh my lord. So this is again where the mould has been polished up. You can actually see where it's been sanded. Probably with some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of a grit paper or something. But look at that. That isn't nice. Oh dear. I think it's just disappointing me a little bit now. I mean, that's terrible. That's just inconsistent from one side to the other. That's a terrible bit of moulding. It's just crap, really. That side seemed bad, but that's relatively good compared to this side. Look at that. No. That needs taking care of. You're gonna. This rough. You can feel it. Ah, you're going to have a right go to get that polished up. Well, I'm not sure. I think I should get my teddy bear back, to be honest. I think he was more promising. I'm looking forward to this as well because I've not seen one before. The quality's not there, is it? Trumpeter are way behind, aren't they now, really? I mean, it's not a new kit, this, I know, but I'm a bit disappointed with that. That's quality control, just lack of. So, let's have a look at the clear parts, see if they can try and cheer me up at the end. You never know, it might. It might. There we go. Oops. It might just cheer us up. Oh, there's one part off the sprue for no reason. I think it's one of the gun. Is it the gun turret at the back? I think it might be. The window with the gun turret. Because I think it has like a remote control gun. The gun is there, but he's a bit further back. In fairness, that's actually quite decent. I like the greenhouse glasswork. It looks quite nice. A lot of it's masked, of course. There we go. A lot of that will get masked off, but it's fairly clear. It's quite decent. It's better than that mould we just saw on the wing, lower wing. That was terrible. That should never have left the factory in that condition, to be honest. Somebody at Trumpeter wants to have a bit of discipline, really. But that's nice. I quite like the windows. Are quite good, actually. Quite like those. So that's okay, thank goodness. Pop that one back in. That'll have to be taped up because otherwise it will go astray. So, what we got? Yeah. If I was to be brutally honest, I think I'm a bit disappointed. I know it's not new. Do we have a year on this? Let's have a look. 2017, it's newer than I thought. No, I'm not impressed. I thought that was about 2010 or earlier, to be fair. I was prepared to give it a bit of latitude at 2010, but that's only 4 years old. Look at the things that Airfix have been producing in 2017. It's the detail and the finish is much better than that is. It's big and it's bad. Now, don't be too harsh on it. I mean, it's always tricky moulding something that's really massive, I think. But that last penultimate sprue, the last grey sprue, that mould is in a poor condition. How on earth they can let that leave the factory and think that would be okay? I don't know. You're going to have to mess around and take care of it, and I've got a bad feeling about it in terms of the fit, but I could be wrong. And some of you may comment and say it was okay, you know. But I'm a bit disappointed. I think that could be much better. I think, you know, given the recent Airfix Vulcan, if they're able to tackle that, I'm sure they'd do it far better than that. It just feels like a kit from 10 or 15 years ago or more, maybe the 90s almost. Doesn't feel like a 2017 kit to me, so I'm afraid this isn't going to get a very good rating today. I'm going to give it 6.5 out of 10. The instructions were okay, but it's very old school. There's not a lot of detail. It's flashy. Moulds are bad. Some of the parts are not that well formed, if I'm completely blunt about it. So I'm afraid I am a little bit disappointed of ending today on a bit of a downer, because I thought it was going to be really fantastic, and it isn't really. Anyway, I hope you'll give me more than 6 out of 10 with a thumbs up. Sorry to be a bit negative, but just not getting a good feeling from it really at all. And you're going to have to put such a lot of work into it anyway to get to get the finish right and all the rest of it. I don't know. I mean, the propellers, which is one of the key sort of characteristics of the plane, they didn't do that well either. That's quite crummy for 2017 tooling. No, it's poor. So 6.5 out of 10. Thanks a lot for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to comment. You might correct me and say it's a wonderful kit if you built it. And even if you have built it and it wasn't a wonderful kit, please let me know. I'd be interested to hear it really. Don't forget that if you are a subscriber to ding the notification bell, because that gets you early warning of any upcoming future vids. And maybe next time we can have something a bit more impressive. I have got plans later this year I'm going to build a Russian Soviet fighter, maybe 2 even. But I'm certainly going to build one, and we're going to, especially toward the winter, I think, the winter project, have some Soviet hardware. But I'm afraid that one isn't for me. It's too big anyway, for being fairness. But no, it's not my cup of tea, and I thought it was going to be a bit better. There's some parts in there that were nice as well. The wheels were quite good, but they're not weight on wheels, so that was a bit of a mistake. But the nose area was good, and the glass area was really good. These bits are nice, but the wings and the props, no. Anyway, there we go. Thanks a lot for joining me. Hope to see you again soon. In the meantime, look after yourselves, take care. Thanks a lot, and bye for now.